What's up, DC Nation? I know this video is late, but we did it. We took down the Giants 20-10 in a defensive battle on Thanksgiving Day, our second franchise win on Thanksgiving. So, with that win, we improved to 5-6, and we're still alive. We're still on the hunt, and now this, in just a few days coming up, we're going up against the Cowboys. Again, got a little rematch here. So, the Redskins-Giants game, we were predicted to win. I want to say we were the fan favorites by like 91%. And of course, you got Giant fans that were trash talking, saying, oh, we're not the worst team in the division. You guys are, you guys are trash, blah, 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 despite, the Giants, being the worst team in the division. But, yeah, we got a little bit of payback on the Giants, and we eliminated them from the playoffs as well. Now, before you guys get on the comment section and tell me, what do you mean we eliminated the Giants out of the playoffs? They were already 2-8 before the matchup even began. How do you, knock somebody out of the playoffs? Well, guys, believe it or not, I'm actually looking at the playoff picture of which teams are in the hunt and which teams aren't. And there's only 3 teams in the NFL that are out of the playoffs, and that's the Browns, the Giants, and the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 teams in the NFL that have 8 losses. The Bears, the Colts, and the Broncos all have 8 losses. But they're still in the hunt somehow. I mean, they got to rely on a lot of losses, but, I mean, going into Week 13, those are there's only 3 teams in the NFL that are eliminated. 2 in the NFC and 1 in the AFC. So, anyway, yeah, I'm looking at the hunt, and I thought that the Buccaneers were out of the hunt, but they're not, and we're well ahead in the hunt now. Well, I say we're well ahead in the hunt, but we're tied with the Cowboys, the Cardinals, and the Packers right now, and everybody else is just ahead of us by either 1 game or more than 1 game. The Lions are ahead of us by a game still. The Seahawks are 2 games behind us, because right now the Panthers and the Falcons are holding the wild card spots right now. So I'm not sure how we're going to get things situated here. I mean, we can go 10-6 and we can still miss the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. I mean, I do believe we're going to win out. Now, whether we come in the playoffs, we're going to have to rely on a lot of teams to lose. So, say we win out. We play the Cowboys this week. We beat them. We take second in the division, and we'll pass them up. And the Cardinals, whether they win or not this week, if they win, they tie up our record as well. And we play the Cardinals next week, so, we could pass the Cardinals up again. So that's 2 NFC teams we can already pass right there. The Packers are just 1 loss away from us passing them up. The Seahawks, or not the Seahawks, the Lions, they're going to have to lose at least 2 more games, because I'm looking at the conference. Well, no, they may only have to lose 1 more game, because they're 6-5 right now. I mean, well, I would prefer if they lost 2 more games, because they're 5-4 in the conference and we're 4-5. If we can manage to take down the Cowboys and the Cardinals, we'll improve to 6-5. The Lions, I haven't looked at their schedule, so there's just a lot going on. I mean, there's still 5 games left in the season, and so far the Redskins are 11th in the NFC, or they're tied for 11th in the NFC with the Cardinals, the Packers, and the Cowboys. But we'll have a chance to pass the Cowboys this week. We'll have a chance to pass the Cardinals next week. And if the Packers lose this week, we'll pass them up as well, which means we'll be third place in the hunt, which means the only two teams we got to worry, no. We'll be third in the hunt, which means we'll be ninth place in the NFC. We still got to worry about the Lions, who are a game ahead of us right now. The Seahawks are 2 games ahead of us right now. Them winning ended up hurting us. And right now, the Falcons, to get out of that wild card spot, they're two games ahead of us right now as well. So, I mean, I know the Falcons will probably lose at least 1 game. I don't know if they'll lose 2 or not. But it's going to be hard for us to get into the playoffs. It really is, because we've dug ourselves in this big hole. But we'll see what happens. We'll just play this 1 game at a time. You know, right now we're 11th in the NFC, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'm predicting us to pass up the Cowboys this week, and then we'll go into next week against the Cardinals, whether they win or lose. And even if they do lose, a win against the Cardinals, and you know, we'll just make sure we're rock solid ahead of the Cardinals, and then we'll just worry about these other teams later. See Packers if they lose, and if the Lions can lose, you know, that helps us out. I mean, there's just so much there's just so many teams we got to rely on to end up losing, but. You know what? There's still 5 games. Anything can happen. And, you know, we'll just take this 1 game at a time. You know, so, yeah. And we beat the Giants. You know, I know the Giants ain't good or nothing, but, you know, rivalry games are always emotional. That's why we won by 10 points. So, the Cowboys, I'm not really nervous about this matchup, and here's why. They're not. Ezekiel Elliott is suspended, and the Cowboys are 0-3 without Elliott. Plus, they've been blown out all 3 times. So I'm not nervous about this game. I know this is a rivalry game, so it's probably going to be close, but I still think we're going to come out on top with the victory. So we'll see what happens, though. I mean, as long as we don't make a mistake like we did the first time, because we made several mistakes the first time we played the Cowboys, and they made us pay for it, and yeah, well, the Cowboys had a commanding win, so beating the Cowboys definitely helps us out. We'll try to jump to 2nd in the division. So, yeah, here we go, guys. Week 13 coming up.